What's up, guys? In today's video, we are talking about backdraft. It's one of those things that everybody that has seen the movie now believes they know exactly what it is. But in today's video, what I'm going to try and do is simply explain what a backdraft is, how it happens, and what it looks like. Now, I found this video from these South Korean firefighters that are doing a training demonstration with a burn trailer that is excellent and shows exactly what happens and how it is in real life. So we're going to be walking through that and explaining it. So let's start out with a basic definition of what a backdraft is. And the FDNY Firefighting Procedures defines a backdraft as a smoke explosion that can occur when additional air is introduced into a smoldering fire and heated gases enter their flammable range and ignite with explosive force. That's a great definition. But let's talk about some basics of fire. Fire needs three things. It needs heat, it needs fuel, and it needs oxygen. Now, a little while ago, I did a video on flashover, kind of explaining what flashover is, and some people get backdraft and flashover confused. And one of the things I said in the flashover video is flashover is a temperature-driven event. When all of the fuel in a given area reaches a certain temperature, the entire room can flash. Backdraft is a little bit different. This is an oxygen-driven event. When the fire is starved of oxygen, it begins to die down, but there's still fuel present and there's still heat present. So when you reintroduce oxygen, it can reignite with explosive force, like we'll go through here. Now, we're going to start watching this video of these Korean firefighters going through this burn trailer and doing this demonstration. I'll stop it at certain points and kind of explain what's going on and build an analogy to a real firefighting scenario. Okay, so you see they have this burn trailer, and this fire clearly has all three elements necessary. I'm assuming there's fuel in there. There's probably pallets or wood or cardboard or paper. I don't know. I don't know what they're burning, but they're burning something. So there's fuel. There is obviously heat. You see the amount of flames and the size of the flames. There's obviously immense heat in that trailer right now. And I can't see on the back side of this burn trailer, so I don't know if there's a door out open back there. But from what we can see, you could see two large openings and plenty of air and oxygen mixing and going through this burn trailer. So this fire is growing quickly. Now, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be closing these doors to simulate, for example, if you were to show up at a house, let's say it's winter time, and the house catches on fire, everybody escapes, but as they leave, they close the door or the window that they got out of. Now, all of that fire that's in that house right now has all the elements necessary to burn. It has the fuel, houses are full of fuel, it has the heat, and it has oxygen. But because that house is closed up, eventually it will eat through all of that oxygen and begin to starve itself out. That's what they're trying to simulate here. They're closing the doors to try and starve this fire of oxygen. So before they open this up, I want to go over a telltale sign of a backdraft. It's kind of hard to see if you're right up close, if you're right there in it and you've got tunnel vision on focusing on doing a job. But if you stand back from a structure, you'll see certain signs. And one of the telltale signs is people describe it as puffing, almost as though the fire is trying to breathe. Sometimes they'll say that you can see smoke being pulled in at the bottom. See, you can't really see it in this, but at the bottom of these doors, you would see smoke getting pulled back in. But because there's a change in pressure, the pressure inside of this structure, inside of this burn trailer, or to use our analogy of the house, inside the house is much greater with all of that trapped heat and smoke than it is outside. That's why it looks like this smoke is trying to get forcefully pushed through these cracks. The smoke will look for any opening to get out of, which is why you see it coming out all around the doors. Now, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be opening the top half of these doors to simulate somebody opening a window or opening a door in a house. What you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of that smoke come pouring out of the top of the opening. And if you look closely at the bottom of the opening, you'll see some smoke and some air going back in. That's the oxygen going back in and going to be feeding this fire while all of that pressure and all of that smoke is coming out from the top. Now you'll see the effects of this. They show two different angles. I'm going to show both of them, so we'll watch those and then we'll talk about a couple things. So that's a really good demonstration of a backdraft. It shows it in very simple terms exactly how it happens, how it builds up, and what happens. Now they're going to show it from a different angle and you can get a better idea of how explosive it actually is. But one thing I wanted you to notice, everybody that's watched the movie Backdraft or watches Chicago Fire or any of the other shows out there, think that backdraft is something that happens instantaneously. As soon as that window opens, it happens. And that's not always the case. In this case, you can see most of the time it's not the case. That oxygen needs to mix with that fuel and that heat. And depending on the size of the structure, depending on the size of the opening, that may take longer than you think. So let's watch it from a different angle, and we'll talk about a couple more things. Okay, so you can see just from that little demonstration there how violent a backdraft can actually be. Imagine this on a much larger scale instead of maybe just like an 8x10 little trailer. Imagine an entire house, imagine a warehouse. There's tons of videos out there that show the effects of what happens during a backdraft. How do you prevent this? Well, the best way to prevent this is if you see the signs of this to vent vertically. In other words, cut holes in the roof, in the ceiling, allow those superheated gases to escape upwards as opposed to allowing oxygen in. Now, another thing I want to point out about this, and this is kind of a safety thing, is even during this demonstration, you see they have a charged hand line there ready to go. I see way too many videos of firefighters just kind of opening doors or beginning to vent and they don't have a hand line with them, or if they do have a hand line with them, it's not even charged. As soon as you start introducing oxygen into a fire and you're not really sure what's going on, make sure you have a charged hand line with you. It's just a very basic safety thing and it could really save you in a really, really bad situation. So as always, I hope you found this useful and helpful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.